So I really want to create an original story that is just something new and fun. I had a few experiences with writing and storytelling due to my Persona 5 fanfics on Archive of Our Own, which you should definitely check out. But this time I really want to create something original. Again, something new and fun. So I think this might work out well. So without further ado, let's get started with making an original story. The story can be about anything, honestly, anything we dreamed about. So, how about we first start off with Okay, I guess I can't come up with an original idea then. To be honest, it's actually kind of a shame, because I really had a lot of great ideas for this type of story, or like, at least like an original story, but I guess my ideas just ran away, or my brain is just too scattered right now. It's kind of like that SpongeBob episode where his brain was a complete mess and basically ripped apart because he couldn't find his name. Good times, I guess. However, that won't stop me from creating an awesome original idea. But in order to do that, we gotta find some inspiration. Well, I should say inspiration from other developers or studios that have crafted really well-made original ideas and stories. But which developer or studio should we take a look at for inspiration? I got it! How about we take a look at the visual novel developer, PixelFade? I'm sorry, who? PixelFade, a Canadian studio that specializes in creating original visual novel content. Much of their resources and development were helped by the fans who supported them on Patreon, as Patreon allows PixelFade to create more assets, as well as getting opinions and hearing out new ideas from fans. They've released 4 games in the span of 5 years, with a new game in development as of now, and today we'll be talking about their 4 visual novels. Now these 4 novels are pretty special to me, as they are also the very first visual novels that I've ever read, and this was after reading Arcade Spirits. So I can't wait to talk about these novels once again. And don't worry, there will be no spoilers whatsoever. Unless you're a very picky person who thinks seeing a single image of a girl from another visual novel is considered a spoiler. Like, you son of a bitch, you spoiled it for me! How dare you! My guy, this was just a picture of Sumika. Anyways, let's begin with the first novel they've ever released, Ace Academy. This is Ace Academy, a slice-of-life story-centric comedy visual novel released on August 22, 2016, and of course, developed and published by PixelFade. Here's a fun fact though, the game originally went by the name Kendo Crush. It was a completely different experience but features some familiar characters from Ace Academy. However, after a huge change of direction, we got the final product that was released, which was of course Ace Academy. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the novel. The story follows the protagonist, or as the default name, Tristan Spade. You and your younger sister Nikki move to Japan after an unexpected event in your family, and move in with your uncle Kaito. Due to your move, you are now transferring to Ace Academy, a premier school for Sen Robotics studies, where giant military mechs called gears are used for sporting events, especially for the Academy. As he struggles to find a team to accept him and his outdated American gear to compete in the Intermoral tournament, he finds a group of pilots desperate enough for another member. Those being your best bro Sho, brave yet hot-tempered Kaori, supportive yet shy Mayu, kind-hearted Yuna, and the 40 and mysterious engineer Valerie. So it's up to you to help your team win the tournament. The gameplay is a standard visual novel, clicking and making choices along the way, but Ace Academy does something cool to change the regular gameplay. You'll make some choices along the way, all which determines what type of person you want the protagonist or Tristan to be. These can be either heartfelt words or just, dude, why you're doing this. These choices can show the characters who you really are and what type of personality you have, and can also affect your relationship with the heroine you're planning to date. You'll also want to keep an eye on your choice making too, even the simple ones, as those can greatly or negatively impact your relationship with the heroine you want to date. The other part of the gameplay is where you'll also be engaged in gear battles, which makes you think quick as to what your next plan of attack is. You only get 5 seconds to choose a plan, either that can be helpful and win the battle, or disastrous and lose the battle. You just have to choose the right move in order to win the match. The 5-second timer can also happen outside the battles during small talks as well, so be careful not to make a mistake when talking with a heroine. This is honestly a cool change to the gameplay, allowing you to freely talk with your friends and making the battles feel more fun and exciting as you become a part of it. The writing for the novel is absolutely hilarious and heartwarming, and honestly quite serious and emotional at some times. The characters are very well written and have tons of memorable lines, and there are a lot of comedic and cute moments too. It doesn't feel like it's being either too comedic or too dramatic. It has the nice balance of the two. Even when the writing does get dramatic, it does a good job building up to the drama with its genuine sense of emotion. The art and visuals are extremely pretty. It's very bright and clean looking. The colors stand out in some of the scenes, especially in the confession scenes with the heroines. The designs of the characters too look fantastic as well and fit so well. They might look generic to some people, but they really fit well with their character and personality. The voice acting is honestly fantastic and is really one of the best aspects of the novel. The visual novel is fully voice acted, which is a huge surprise to me when I first read this. But I'm really glad it is, as it brings in a lot of the personality to the character and makes the story feel more lively. And the voices fit their characters so well, with some of the standouts being Tina Kim as Nikki, Angela Lorenzana as Valerie, Samantha Chan as Yuna, and Sydney Poniwas, who you may recognize as Sid Snap, as Kaori. These 4 VAs were basically the perfect casting choices and brought to life the characters amazingly well. Plus, the rest of the cast did a great job too. Here, take a listen to the voice acting.
You should go to the park. It's so beautiful, especially in spring when the cherry blossoms bloom. I used to go there all the time and play on the statues. You'll learn a lot about the town's culture and history there too. Although I haven't been there since a while, so I'm not sure if it's changed at all.
Of course. Actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about a few ideas I have in mind to improve your gear performance.
Really?
I'm drafting up the plans for the improvements, but there's still a few calculations to do. I'll have a completed report done in a few days.
Oh, was it that girl?
I didn't. Thanks for sharing.
Another girl? Sounds like you're getting all the ladies.
You're a second-year pilot too, right? Not that many students transfer during second year, you know? You're the talk of the pilot's lounge, a mysterious foreign transfer student.
Why do you have to take Piloting 101 again?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. Sure.
But only if it's not too much trouble.
I can't believe you want to get me an inferior model to make up for breaking my stuff in the first place. But not comparable to my E85. Why did you have to break my tablet? Serves you right for trying to kill me.
The music is also another great aspect in my opinion. As much as the music was created by the team, and much of it sounds amazing and fits in very well with the atmosphere of the novel. The music itself has a variety of tones that fits in with any situation, whether it's a positive and lively scene, an emotional part of the story, or a romantic part of the story. The music fits very well into any scene. Here, take a listen to the music. Throughout your read, you'll be given choices on which character you want to hang out with on that day. This is where you'll decide which route you're going to go through. If you're focusing on dating a heroine, you have to choose only one, and you have to focus on only one. You sadly cannot hang out with the others in every other choice. You have to stick with the one heroine you're planning to date. But there are some points where your heroine isn't given a choice, as they aren't available on that day. If that happens, you might as well hang out with one of the other heroines or with Sho, as you'll still get to know more about them as well. The drama in a few of the routes and even the main story is generally pretty emotional. You're trying your best to help these heroines out with the issues that they're dealing with, along with helping your sister get through your own family issues as well. The drama moments especially provide a great sense of realism and emotion to them. Some of the topics in drama might even be relatable to some people, so it's nice to see that the drama can be at least pretty impactful at some points. The romance is definitely very good. It's very sweet to see these unfold, and many of the romantic situations you'll encounter with your heroine of choice is extremely heartwarming and wholesome. It doesn't feel forceful or cheesy. It feels very genuine. It's also thanks to the voice acting, as it adds another level of realism to the romance. Plus, it's really nice to see how your relationship with the heroine of your choice will continue to grow more and more as you hang out with them. It's just really adorable. Tristan himself as an MC was especially pretty well done. Remember that you are controlling him and creating what type of personality he has. You'll also be given a choice in the beginning of the novel on what his specialty will be, which can help you in certain situations. I love how PixelFade allowed us to take control of not only the MC, but also take part in creating his whole character as well. You can make him into whatever type of character you want him to be. The possibilities are endless. But even besides that, he's a kind-hearted, strong, and caring person who wants to live out his best life in the academy, alongside living out his new life with his sister now that they're living with their uncle. Plus, the sibling relationship between Tristan and Nikki is too perfect. It's cute to see them so supportive of each other, even if both of them love to tease each other. Of course, as what in the Steam description says, you can date any of the 4 team members of the group, each with their different routes. Either Kaori, Mayu, Yuna, and Valerie, all of which have their own adorable moments, and I honestly believe all the routes offer enough content to be able to showcase more on the character of the heroines. And if I had to choose the best girl, it would be Valerie, honestly, as I generally love her mischievous and flirty type of personality. It makes a lot of the scenes between her and Tristan pretty funny and romantic. Plus, Valerie's relationship with Nikki is honestly just too hilarious, and I won't spoil it because there's one specific moment between the two that is genuinely one of the best moments in the novel, but trust me, it's worth it once you get there. But if I had to choose a second best girl, it would be Yuna, no doubt. The routes themselves are genuinely heartwarming. While they don't expand much on the main plot of the story, they expand more on the development of the specific heroine you're planning to date, as well as showcase more about their character. This is where one of the main aspects of why I love Ace Academy comes from. As you'll continue to hang out with the heroine you want to date, you'll continue to learn more about them and grow to love them. It's one of my favorite parts of the novel, as it allows you to get to know these characters in a more personal scale. You see the troubles that they're going through, see how you can help them with their lives, figure out ways to have fun with them, learn something new and surprising about them. The routes allow you to fall in love with these heroines, and once you do start dating these heroines, the main story does change quite a bit depending on which heroine you date, as you get specific scenes with them, which are both really wholesome and cute. However, we can't ignore the main issue of the novel for me. The only nitpick or major issue I have with this novel is the story. The story is a bit washed out by the character moments, as it doesn't progress a lot only until we get closer to the end of the game. I won't spoil the story, as there are some important details that I can't say, but the ending didn't feel complete and felt very lackluster. The story rarely ever expands, and it leaves more question than answers. But from what I can see, the game sacrificed the story and gave a goddamn amazing execution to the characters, moments, music, writing, and visuals. And honestly, besides that, this is still a fantastic visual novel. It's definitely one that I wasn't expecting to fall in love so much, but I'm glad I did. Ace Academy received overwhelmingly positive reviews with praise to the writing, characters, voice acting, romance, and comedy, with the only criticism being the lackluster ending and story. So what are my thoughts on this novel? I absolutely adored it. Well, to be fair, this was before I got serious with the problems with the story. But besides my problem with it, I think this is a very well-made visual novel. It takes an already recognizable setting and high school story and changes it up to stand out and be more unique. It's filled with great art, fantastic voice acting, genuine romance and drama, smart choices with its gameplay, and a great soundtrack, alongside with its wonderful cast of characters, well-developed routes, and a fun controllable MC. To me, I consider Ace Academy a classic and an essential to any player who wants to get started with reading visual novels. It's fun, emotional, romantic, and hilarious. It has all the things you need in order to have a really great experience. Okay, after taking a look at Ace Academy, I think I finally have the inspiration to create a good high school story. So now, where should the high school be located in? Should the high school be located in space? That's too weird. What about a prison? Wait, no, that's just too ridiculous. Then what about, great. I just lost all my ideas then. Well, I guess we have to move on to the next genre for ideas then. Let's say we can make an adventure story. Yeah, an original adventure story. That sounds fun. And thankfully, we have another PixelFade visual novel to take inspiration from. So, let's take a look at Crystalline. This right here is Crystalline, a choice-driven fantasy adventure visual novel, released once again on August 22, 2018. Now this is pretty cool. We're now jumping from a slice of life high school setting to a fantasy adventure setting. So, let's see how this novel will go, and let's take a look. The story follows the protagonist, who finds himself mysteriously transported from a local school library to Terra, a fantasy world empowered by magical crystals. While trying to figure out where the hell you are, you soon ran into Liana, a mage knight investigating rumors of concentrated energy in the area, which is coming from the protagonist. Soon, the two will go on a quest alongside other adventurers, child prodigy Amila, treasure hunter Kara, badass mercenary Zack, and your lovable sidekick, Pongo. Together they'll journey far beyond to understand how the protagonist got here and a way for him to return home. Okay, so let's get this straight. You're probably going to say that this sounds like an isekai story. True, I'll admit, it does, but it's genuinely a really awesome story, and it's honestly one of the best aspects of the novel. As you continue to read through the story, you may already think the story will get very predictable. However, it doesn't. The story continues on and provides a lot of surprises and genuinely emotional moments as we get to the climax and the end of the story. It took me by surprise in a lot of the parts of the story. There's a few moments that I was not expecting to happen. To new readers, it may seem either generic or overdone, but it really isn't. It tries to be original and unique in its own way while providing a fun experience. It provides some new strong moments while also retaining the fun, comedic, and heartwarming aspects Ace Academy has. The gameplay is basically the same like Ace Academy, along with deciding what personality you want the protagonist to have. But what's new to the gameplay are mini-games, mostly consisting of memory games or clicking rapidly on all the icons that pop up. I honestly think this is a nice step up to Ace's gear battles. It's simple and provides a tiny bit of challenge to it, so that it doesn't feel too easy. The writing here is also really good, with a lot of great emotional and serious moments during some of the more integral parts of the story. It seems like to me that the writing is focusing more on the drama, but the comedy is still there in the story, and is really hilarious, especially the cute type of comedy that happens when you're interacting with the team. Plus, the writing blends in with all the characters, as it fits their personality. The visuals and art got a huge upgrade. It's much more brighter, colorful, and crisper than ever before. The artists have done such a phenomenal job with capturing some beautiful looking art and CGs, showcasing the gorgeous world of Terra to its fullest potential. The novel's engine also has been upgraded to now create live 2D animation for the characters, making them feel like they're from an anime as they now have a full model that includes a wide variety of animations to showcase. This is a really cool feature that they added to the novel. While I can understand some may not like it due to their stiff movement at some points, but it makes the experience even more fun. The characters themselves are fantastic. Liana, Amelia, Kara, Zack, and Pongo, I love them all. Not only do they have some great moments in the story, but the friendship between the protagonist and his team feel very genuine. You can see the friendship within the team continue to grow as they continue on with their quests, almost like they're starting to become a small family. Plus, the voice acting brings in a lot of the charm from the characters and fits them very well, especially Amanda Lee, who you may recognize as the popular Amelie, as Liana. Literally a perfect role. Here, take a listen to the voice acting.
You're asking me to go with you?
Yes.
Like, me and you?
Yes.
As in us?
Yes.
Together?
Do you want to come or not?
No, I'm busy.
I meant it was only a matter of time before I got the correct calculations. Anyway, I shall return in a moment.
This heightened energy activity, it's you? I don't see a discharger on you. So then, how is it possible for you to have such a high magical energy reading?
The music is pretty fantastic too. The novel's soundtrack brought the liveliness of Terra to life, with the music having a more sci-fi and fantasy theme to it. Mixing it in with the world of Terra, it really fits well with the whole atmosphere. It knows when to chill out and turn into a cozy atmosphere, and it knows when to bring the music up a notch when it comes to a new battle. It's simply fantastic. So here, take a listen to the music. Now let's talk about the routes, because in reality, there are none. The story is very straightforward and linear, kind of like Ace Academy, and there's only one character you can romance, and that's Liana, which honestly makes complete and total sense for her to be the only character to romance. She's been with you from the start, and you're the one who's continuing to learn more and more about herself, and soon you'll fall in love with her, allowing you to make the choice of whether or not to date her. The romance is extremely wholesome this time around, and a lot of the interactions between Liana and the protagonist as they begin to date is a really cute experience to unfold. You can tell that she is slowly falling for the protagonist as you continue to read the story, and it's just really adorable to see the relationship between the two continue to grow more and more as they continue to go on to their quests. The drama is honestly way more impactful here than in Ace Academy. There's a specific part in the novel, which I won't spoil of course, where the story takes a complete emotional turn of events, and it's a part that I did not expect to cry so much. It's a pretty shocking moment too once you get to that part, but the drama itself is very well done, providing for some dark, serious, and life-threatening moments that combines really well with the specific scene in the story. The drama is just really well done. The protagonist is also a great main character. Sure, he's extremely confused as to how he got to Terra, but now it's up to you to guide him through this journey and help him make decisions that can not only be pretty scary, but also emotional as well. His strong, caring, confident personality allows him to showcase the potential he has in order to save Terra. Even if he tried to make his personality into a goddamn pervert, he still wants to be able to help his team out and save the world. He wants to not only be able to prove himself to be worthy, but also find a way home. The climax. While I won't show anything about it, it's one of the best parts of this novel. It puts you on the edge of your seat as you take the final stand with battling the final boss, and depending on whether you chose to be in a relationship with Liana, the climax is incredibly emotional and exciting. Along with the novel soundtrack, it makes the climax an awesome part to read through. Still though, this was a fantastic visual novel to read. It was beautiful and an emotional journey that showcases the importance of friendship, teamwork, and finding the hero within you. This was simply an amazing experience. Crystalline received overwhelmingly positive reviews, with many praising the characters, visuals, writing, art style, engine upgrade, and especially the story, although some reviewers criticized the voice acting, setting, and the generic minigames. Now, what are my thoughts on this novel? It was fantastic. I'm glad PixelFade was able to create such a unique and very fun sci-fi fantasy adventure kind of story. I totally understand why they went with only one romance option, as it honestly makes the relationship between Liana and the protagonist more realistic and real. Alongside that, the novel has gorgeous art and visuals, a beautiful soundtrack, great writing that blends in with the scenes, whether it's the drama or comedy, lovable characters, and a story that keeps you on the edge of your seat as you slowly make your way to the end. Crystalline is easily an extremely enjoyable visual novel that features a ton of story content that many will enjoy. Whether it's the comedy or drama or even the romance in the characters, this was simply a wonderful experience, and I'm glad PixelFade was able to deliver another great visual novel. Okay, so I think I have a good idea of what I want my adventure story to be. So let's find a way, or let's come up with a way to make an epic beginning, an epic start to this journey. So yeah, let's see what we can come up with. So let's see here. Deep in the jungle. Nah, that's too generic. Deep in the ocean. Nah, that's too overdone, honestly. Deep in the ass. Obviously no. Man, I guess I can't even make up a great epic way to start off an adventure story then. I might as well go back to my roots and create an original romance story then. Wait a minute. That's actually a good idea! Let's create an original romance story. Now, this is something I know how to do. I've done a lot of the Persona 5 fanfics and Archive of Our Own, so I think I have a good idea of what I can do with this. However, we have another PixelFade visual novel that we can use to find inspiration. So, let's take a look at Kaori After Story. This right here is Kaori After Story, a slice-of-life relationship-centric comedy visual novel that is also kind of like a fan disc to Ace Academy that was released in December 3, 2018. Now that's pretty cool, an Ace Academy sequel focusing and continuing the story of the relationship of one heroine, that being Kaori. That one has a ton of potential and possibilities with what stories you can come up with. So, let's check out the novel. The story follows Tristan Spade and his now girlfriend Kaori. She has invited him to spend Christmas and New Year's Eve with her family. Their trip takes them to the countryside beyond Izokaze, where you'll meet Kaori's parents and her twin sisters, spend time with her and her family, and know more about her past. All the while, you try to enjoy your moments with Kaori before the new year. Now this is such a great example of a good fan disc story. It's simple, yet there's a ton of things you can do to tell this wholesome story. Also, the story set in the holidays is great and blends so well with the romantic atmosphere. To put it simply, it's just a good romantic story to tell that at least expands more of the relationship of Tristan and Kaori. Sure, you can add either drama or more story that expands Tristan's family, but I think just focusing on the romance between Tristan and Kaori was a better choice. Just like the other novels, the gameplay is still the same as always, as well as the choice making that will define Tristan's personality. However, there's no minigames, no quick time moments, just reading and making choices. Basically the same thing like Ace Academy. One of the big aspects of the novel is the writing. The writing for Kaori After Story is hilarious, with a lot of wacky, comedic, romantic, and sometimes insane moments that can happen within the novel. But much of the writing is wholesome. It gets off a really nice and relaxing vibe and will hit well to readers who enjoy these types of laid-back stories. The visuals and art is still beautiful looking. I swear, PixelFade knows how to create such gorgeous looking art and CGs, and this novel has a ton of that. I feel like with each new novel that they release, the art and visuals just keep getting better and better. No doubt that they have such talented artists who can create such beautiful art. The novel also got live 2D engine as well, only for Kaori however, but this is still a welcoming addition, making Kaori herself feel more expressive. Another aspect of the novel is the characters and voice acting. Of course we have Tristan and Kaori returning, but we are also introduced to Kaori's family. We have Kaori's twin sisters who model and design fashion, Kaori's energetic mom, and Kaori's sincere and kind-hearted father. We also got some returning characters as well. Nikki, Uncle Kaito, Aunt Yuki, and even Sho all return for the sequel, but only for a little bit. Although I really wish the other girls Bowery, Yuna, and Mayu returned, but Kaori's family is such a welcoming addition to the Ace Academy story. They're also lively and fun to talk with. They really bring in a lot of the positive energy to the story, and many of the scenes with them are very wholesome and cozy. And I gotta commend the voice acting. It's just fantastic. Like seriously, it showcases more of the strong personality of Kaori's family, with Sydney Poniwas being the star of the show. I mean, obviously, it is about Kaori after all. Here, take a listen to the voice acting.
Kaori finally has a boyfriend! Mom! Calm down! Oh my goodness! I dreamed of this moment, but I never thought I'd see the day!
Well, this is a welcome surprise. Kaori, you didn't mention anything about a boy.
Because it's not a big deal!
Oh, hello young man. Where did you come from? Are you lost?
The music is once again so damn good. I love the romantic and playful theme to it. It's actually very lively and honestly makes you want to dance to some of it. The more romantic style music really sets the mood very well, especially through the cute and heartwarming moments between Tristan and Kaori. Here, take a listen to the music. Of course, this being a sequel to Kaori's route in Ace Academy, there are no other routes in this novel since you're continuing your relationship with Kaori. There's also basically no drama whatsoever in the novel, as most of the main focus is the romance. The romance is really well done. You can feel the strength of the growing relationship between Tristan and Kaori as you continue reading, and much of the specific romantic moments feel really genuine. It doesn't feel like it's forcing it to you. It just feels really nice, honestly. So if you're a reader who is like a fan of heartwarming and adorable romance, this is the novel for you. Also, just remember this, that the story itself is actually quite short. You can finish the novel in around 4 to 5 hours, but even if the story is short, it's packed with tons of great content for you to enjoy. If you love the romance part of Ace Academy and love Kaori's route, then you're going to enjoy this novel. Kaori After Story received very positive reviews, with many praising the voice acting, music, story, visuals, characters, writing, and the comedic and heartwarming moments, although some reviewers criticized the short length of the novel. Now, what are my thoughts on this novel? I really enjoyed it. You guys already know I always love the romance aspect of any visual novel, and Kaori After Story completely satisfied me with its strong amount of romantic moments. The gorgeous art, the atmospheric music, the lively voice acting and characters, the clever writing and choice-making moments, the short yet wholesome story. This is a fantastic fan disc that expands more on the life of Kaori, as well as the relationship between her and Tristan. It takes a very simple story, but adds a ton of charm, personality, and genuine emotion to it, creating a very cozy winter love story. That alone makes me want after stories for the other heroines. It will be really cool to see Valerie, Yuna, and Mayu have their own after story, but that hasn't happened yet. But hopefully PixelFade will make after stories for them in the future. Okay then, I believe I have a great idea of what I can do to create an original romance story. Sex doesn't have to really be involved, to be honest. It can be just a simple, cute romance story. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if I can create an original romance story that's simple but also cute, that doesn't involve sexual content or any sexual things that are related to it. What can go wrong?
Eventually.
Everything is just about sex. Oh my god. What am I doing wrong? Am I just not a good writer? I really want to do this. I want to create an original story that is just at least fun and exciting. What am I doing wrong? I can't just give up now. I can't. No, I won't give up now. Push those negative thoughts away. You got this. We still have one more PixelFade visual novel to take a look at for inspiration. So hopefully this would be the one. So let's take a look at Ethereal Enigma. This right here is Ethereal Enigma, a choice-driven slice-of-life visual novel released on August 22, 2020. Now this looks interesting. We're back to the high school story in this one yet again, but it looks to be more mystical, or I guess magic-based? Either way, I'm pretty excited. So let's talk about this novel. The story follows the protagonist, where he meets an old woman in his town's shrine who encourages him to make a wish at the shrine. Making a wish, he unwittingly summons Erwin, a princess from another world. With no idea how she came here or how to send her back, the two, along with your cousin Minami, your best bro Kosei, and quiet classmate Kira, must all work together to unravel the mystery and find a way to get Erwin back home. All the while, she gets used to living in the town of Matsukaze, as well as go to school with the protagonist. Now this is a cool idea to do a story. I love how it's treating itself as like a normal slice-of-life high school story, but adds a more mystical theme to it, with Erwin and her story. The story itself is very well done, as it explores more on the relationship of the group while also exploring the world Erwin came from. But I still like how the story is still treating itself as a high school slice-of-life story, where the protagonist and his friends are just enjoying their school life. It's another story where it's laid back and has a ton of charm to it. The gameplay is basically the same like the rest of the novels. No mini games as well here, so there's honestly not much to talk about here since it's basically just like Kaori After Story or Ace Academy. The big aspect in the novel, in my opinion, is the voice acting and characters. The characters are all wonderful and memorable in their own ways. They have a great amount of personality and lovable moments that you can't really hate them at all. There's a good amount of characters in the novel too, especially the side characters that you meet throughout your reading, which is really cool once you get to meet and talk with them. And of course, the voice acting is phenomenal, with many of the VAs did a phenomenal job capturing the personalities of their characters. Almost all the VAs fit their roles very well, like they were meant to voice that character. And there's some standouts in the voice acting too. Kira Buckland as Erwin, Megan Shipman as Kira, and LuckyPuyo herself as Minami. Here, take a listen to the voice acting.
You do? But I haven't even told you with whom. Yes. How did you know? Did they tell you?
It was right above where Erilyn landed on you. About there. Neither do I. It's not like it was the other night.
My water bottle. All this talking is making me thirsty. Oh no, it's not here.
Please. You're just jealous that you weren't gifted with all of this. It's a burden being this good looking, but someone has to be.
The music for this novel is quite possibly the best one yet out of all the novels I've read. This one has to be my favorite soundtrack. The music this time is going for a poppy and mystical vibe to it, completely fitting in with the atmosphere of the town. So the music was done by Eric Benaim. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Who also worked on the music for Crystalline and Kaori After Story, and he did such a phenomenal job with the music for all three novels. He completely brought to life the essence, emotions, and feels of the story with the music. Here, take a listen to the music. The visuals and art, beautiful once again. Honestly, I don't even know what else to say, to be honest. The art just keeps getting better and better with each novel, and Ethereal Enigma's art is super colorful, bright, and cheery. That's what I would describe the art for this novel. Also, the live 2D engine is back once again, bringing more life to the characters. And we got a completely animated opening for the novel, which looks fantastic. You can easily tell that they amped up the production value to this novel real easy. There's not much I could say about the writing as well, since it's still the hilarious, heartwarming type of writing style that is found within all the PixelFade visual novels. It's funny, it's romantic, it's wholesome, it can be emotional, the writing is just done so well. The story itself is very linear, similar to the past novels, but as you progress through the story, you can date either one of the two main heroines, those being Erwin and Kira. There is another heroine you can date, although she is considered a quote-unquote secret heroine, and while she may not have a live 2D model, she is just so goddamn adorable that I have to include her, and that's Risa, Kosei's sister. Erwin and Kira get the most amount of romance time, however, Risa sadly doesn't, but she deserves to have more screen time, as I genuinely loved her little tiny route. The romance in this novel actually takes a bit more time before we get to the dating part. It's a tiny bit more slow, but has a lot of heartwarming and adorable interactions with all three heroines. I know I already said this a lot after talking about the past novels, but seriously, the relationships feel very genuine. You can feel the strong love within the romance of the relationship. It's just really cute, and honestly, I think this novel probably has the best romance execution yet. Honestly, while I love all three heroines, I really like Erwin more, to be honest. I think it's mostly due to her strong royal personality. The writing for her and her voice acting really made her such a lovable character for me, especially with the romance. Just so adorable and heartwarming, but I will always respect Kira and Risa too. While there isn't any drama, Ethereal Enigma focuses a bit more on the mystery genre, as you try to help Erwin find a way to get her back home and learn as to why she's here. It's a bit slow-paced when it comes to the story, but it's pretty detailed when it focuses on the story's mystery. There's actually a few surprises due to this, and the reactions from the group is honestly hilarious. But they did a good job with implementing the mystery genre to the story. Plus, there is some great character development too, especially with Erwin. Most of the development is a spoiler, so I won't say much sadly, but I will say this. It's a really heartwarming character development, and you will be really happy and satisfied once you finish Erwin's route, or I guess Erwin's part in the story. The protagonist himself is similar to Tristan and Crystalline's protagonist characteristics, where he's kind, strong, and helpful to others. In this one, he's more helpful and wants Erwin to experience what Matsukaze has to offer, and experience something unlike her own world. He cares about his friends, and once he dates one of the heroines, he genuinely loves them and wants to spend the most time with them. Honestly, the only nitpick I have with this novel is the small amount of screen time Risa got. She is such a great and adorable character who honestly deserves more and should have been a part of the main group in the first place. That's basically the only nitpick I have, however, but I understand why the team wanted Risa to be more of a side character rather than a main heroine. The novel also contains a few references to Ace Academy and Crystalline, which makes you believe that maybe all these 3 novels are actually connected in some way. It would be cool to see if it's true, but however, that's just a theory. Ethereal Enigma received very positive reviews, with many reviewers praising the production quality, characters, writing, visuals, voice acting, and music, but some criticized the plain story, comedy, and some of the characters. Now, what are my thoughts on this novel? To be honest, and I won't lie about this, but this might be my favorite visual novel from PixelFade. To me, Ethereal Enigma balances extremely well with its content and story, providing for a very fun, hilarious, romantic, and emotional experience. The fantastic voice acting and lovable characters, the gorgeous art and CGs, the heartwarming romance of all 3 routes, the cozy and magical music, the cheeky and hilarious writing, and the unique story. I was clapping when the credits rolled as I finished the story. This was literally another outstanding experience by PixelFade. It's a simple story, but it changes it up to be a more enjoyable and fun story experience, just like how they did with Ace Academy. So, hopefully you'll give this visual novel a shot. Now, we're not done talking about PixelFade yet. We still got one more novel to talk about, and it's one that I'm really excited to talk about, and that's Astral Ascension. This right here is Astral Ascension, a sci-fi adventure visual novel. However, we can't read it. Unfortunately, Astral Ascension is still in development, but development is supposedly almost done, and the novel is still planned to release later this year supposedly. So the only things we have right now are some character art and some available CGs. And so far, this looks to be PixelFade's most ambitious novel to date. The story itself seems extremely interesting, and the possibilities for how this can go is huge. There's going to be a lot of good amount of content within this novel, and I'm extremely excited to finally read this once it comes out. So you bet that I'll definitely make a video once this releases. Oh my god, I finally did it. I finally made an original story! Oh my god, this is the best day ever! Oh, I can't wait! How about I show you guys the first chapter of my new original story, shall we? Alright, let's start. Good enough! Okay, yes, we couldn't really create an original story, even with the inspiration, but after looking at all the PixelFade visual novels, I think I get it now. Developers can create some original, unique, and genuinely fun stories, Whether it's a slice of life high school story, a fantasy sci-fi adventure, or a romantic winter love story, they are able to craft a large amount of content within that story and filled with a ton of charm, personality, and love to it. The amount of effort they were able to put in all of these visual novels is amazing, and PixelFade honestly deserves all the love and attention because of it. They are simply one of the best visual novel developers I've ever seen. And honestly, it pains me to see a lot of visual novel readers ignore PixelFade's visual novels because it's an English visual novel, or EVN, or as some other people call it, OELVNs, which stands for Original English Language Visual Novel, which sounds stupid, I'm not gonna lie. In general, it pains me to see the amount of hate EVNs get. If you never read a single EVN and say EVN sucks, your opinion doesn't matter anymore, because that's just completely rude. I've seen a few complaints about EVNs from some social media sites, saying how EVNs have a lower budget and that they don't look great, how they have no age scenes, how they try to imitate other popular Japanese visual novels, and how some readers won't play them because they don't have Japanese voice acting or pretty anime art. I get that, but you have to realize that not all EVNs are the same. Some are really good, and in my opinion, EVNs deserve the same amount of love Japanese visual novels get as well. I'm a big EVN supporter, and EVNs were how I became a visual novel fan in the first place. There are some genuinely well-made EVNs out there that have been crafted well and made with a ton of effort put into it, like the Arcade Spirits series, Caffeine Victoria's Legacy, Magical Diary Wolf Hall, Blue Game Lunchtime Games Club, Hush Hush. There's so many other EVNs out there that are genuinely great experiences. You can't say you don't like EVNs without at least trying one of these out. Like I said, not all EVNs are gonna be the same, but that doesn't mean you should assume all EVNs are terrible. That's just plain rude. I understand Japanese visual novels get more love, but you have to at least give some attention to EVNs as well, even if it's just like the littlest, tiniest attention to it. There are developers for EVNs out there who are genuinely trying their hardest and put in so much effort to deliver a good visual novel. They may not have a big budget or might not look great, but this was their passion project. They were fully committed to deliver a visual novel that they wanted to make so others can enjoy. So please give EVNs a chance, and if you are interested in reading them, I already gave you some examples of some EVNs to check out alongside with the PixelFade visual novels. So hopefully you'll give them a try. Remember that if you're planning to buy some PixelFade visual novels, they are available to purchase on Steam, and I recommend getting the whole bundle, which includes all 4 visual novels. They're even on iOS and Android devices too, so hopefully you'll give all 4 visual novels a shot. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining me and celebrating my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. Time just goes really fast, honestly. I've been here doing videos on YouTube for a year now, and it's insane, honestly. Creating these videos have been a lot of fun, but painful because of the editing and recording. But besides that, it feels really satisfying to finally finish a video and uploading it for you guys. And as always, I'll continue to do the best I can with delivering good content for you guys. So, that's all I really got to say. Just thank you so much for joining me, celebrating my 1 year here, and as well as watching this entire 1-hour special of PixelFade. Because PixelFade to me is very special. Because they were the first visual novels I've ever read. All those visual novels I talked about, they were my very first ones, including Arcade Spirits alongside that. And I'm just glad I was able to talk about them with you guys. Until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.